That was T-Var Savage there. Welcome to Avian Radio. I have a special guest in the studio.
Yo, it's Anonymy. A lot of you don't know about me yet, but you will, trust me.
So you've come to my studio. Welcome. How you doing, sir? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm stressing because my computer has been hijacked by my commander-in-chief, so he's doing all this technical stuff. I don't know why that's going on. So I brought you to the studio because you are a musician.
Yeah.
You are an actor.
Oh, yes.
You are also a music producer.
Oh, yes.
So you're multi-talented.
Well, I think that a lot of these things are quite closely related, so I wouldn't say... I'd say it's quite a common thing nowadays, to be honest. I mean,
I'm not all three of them. I'm struggling just to do one thing. I'm just struggling to just do one thing, not along three different things.
Well, it's funny because one thing led into the other thing. Like, being an artist is what led me to study in order to become a producer. And then while I was studying in university, quite by coincidence, I ended up acting in some student films and found out I was actually pretty good at it. So it all kind of just fell into place. And plus with film, you have a lot of opportunities to use your abilities in production as well, because you can obviously do foliage, which is basically the sound.
I love
that's basically what it is. Footsteps, you know. Sound design, all of that, like composition. Like, there's a lot of opportunities to do things in film with sound as well, so they're all quite closely related. So for me, it just makes sense to if I'm good at it, why not do it? Simple as that.
That makes a lot of sense. But what's you drawn to more? Music, film, acting? What is your you always want to do it?
That's difficult, you know, because
that's why I said it. Professional journalist here. Yeah.
Fair enough. It's hard to say. You get into moods where you prefer to do one thing over the other. There's certain times when I love to just be sitting in the studio producing some audio, and there's other times where I love to be in the vocal booth recording vocals for something. And there's times when I don't feel like doing either of them. And then there's times where I just like, you know what, I've got to take part in some sort of acting project because I really need it. I really need that that different experience. It gives you kind of to be that diverse. It gives you a break from certain things, so you're never stuck to just one thing. You're constantly moving around. And obviously, since I do some radio as well, I mean, that also gives me something different to do. It gives me something. It's a different discipline than doing normal music, doing radio, and I think you can appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I do radio.
Yeah.
And I also,
are you sure?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, okay.
When I'm awake.
You should have told me before we started this.
Yeah, you should have. Yeah, welcome to my studio.
Oh, thank you. Is that what this is?
This
okay.
is it's at a studio. So when did you get into film? Because I know you started music at an early age. Actually,
yeah.
tell us about how you got into music.
Basically, it's funny because I was in a difficult period in my life. I didn't have kind of the best upbringing, so when I was and I needed some sort of outlet. So when I was about 16, I actually started freestyle rapping with friends and stuff like that, just in groups and things like that.
Cypher.
Yeah, ciphers.
So, yeah, I'm doing my research. I know a few things about this.
And I would be just doing kind of like off the dome rapping while I'm making a cup of tea, or while I'm doing just mediocre stuff. I'll be off the dome rapping, just anything I can think of. And I realised that I wanted to go further with it, and I was lucky because a friend introduced me to my first studio. It was within a youth centre. And I wasn't very good, I'm gonna be honest. I was pretty much terrible. I didn't know what I was doing.
What, bad at rapping or bad at being in the studio?
Think bad at both, because when I first started freestyling, I didn't even know exactly what a bar was. So
for those who don't know what a bar is, tell us what a bar is.
So it's about around a 4-second what's the word?
You're looking at me.
It's basically a period of 4 seconds that makes up a line of a rap, and obviously the next line would make up the second bar, and it would have to obviously rhyme with the first, and that's how you basically start off. That's the basic concept of rapping.
So basically like a sonnet.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, rap is, when it's broken down, it stands for rhythm and poetry.
Yeah.
So really,
I need.
yeah, when you break it down, it's just poetry. So there's a lot of relations there. So yeah, it just when I started out though, I didn't know about any of that. So I was kind of just working basically off what I'd heard. And I was trying to figure it out. And then when I got in the studio, that's when I actually started to learn, okay, this is what a bar is. This is how long a track needs to be. This is how many bars need to be in a verse. And as you learn that stuff, you get better and better and better.
So is it a technical thing for you, or is it just a fluid thing for you?
It depends on the day. I mean, it really does. I mean,
If it's a rubbish day, yeah, don't worry about it.
sometimes you're just not feeling that inspiration. So you feel like everything you're doing is kind of a grind.
Yeah.
But then there's other days where you're full of inspiration. Things just flow out of you and you know exactly what you want. And that's why I'm so excited about this album that I'm working on, because a lot of it was in that kind of inspired moment, and I was just flowing stuff out, like without even really thinking about it too much. I knew what I wanted to say, I knew how I wanted to say it, and it just came out.
See, we're gonna touch on that in a second. I just want to talk about film. How did you fall into film?
So,
Because I've seen one of your films. I thought your little short film. That's pretty good. I didn't expect that from you. I was actually, I don't want to say I was shocked. Not saying you've got no talent, but I was shocked. I was like, what? Oh wow, he's got skills.
well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, it was actually when I started university. I've got to actually thank my girlfriend for that.
I was going to say Sue.
Not Sue.
Hold tight, Sue.
I've got
I've
to thank my girlfriend Maggie, because she's the one that pushed me to go to uni when I did.
Okay.
Because I was always planning to go, but I wasn't sure if I would get that opportunity, and I wasn't sure about applying, because I thought I'd just get a straight no because of some of my background. But I applied. She pushed me to apply. I applied, and then I got in, and I was like, wow, okay. And when I got into university, it was actually her again.
What a wow.
She does film, so she got me acting in a short film she had to do for her first assignment. And from there, it was like a taster, and it was like, I like this, and I feel like I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And then going to uni, you get involved with more things, and it just builds from there. And then I started learning privately, in a dramatic way, how to act.
How to act. To be
or not to be.
Can I just say, hold tight, Maggie? Because she's a legend.
She is.
She's a legend. Is she listening?
Yeah, she is.
Why are you lying? if you are listening, my lady, give us a call on 0208 670 7300, because I want to say thank you to you, because you're a star.
Yes, you are.
You know she's a star. She's actually really cool.
She is.
So you got into the filming. Are you ever going to do directing?
I have considered that, you know.
Yeah, I knew it. I can see in your eyes thinking, I could do better than this. I can do better than this.
I actually felt like that on one of the films I did. I did a short film, and I'm not sure if it's the one you saw. Probably not. This one wasn't really widely released. It had a lot of problems, and that was mainly down to the directing. And I remember acting in scenes and thinking, I could direct this so much better. And it got to the point where the actors and actresses were coming to me for direction above the director. So
what?
They
you hijacked the film?
I didn't do it on purpose. I was acting, and
Why
then...
Why are you lying? He's throwing people up. Yeah, he's rubbish, isn't he? He's rubbish. Come to me, innit? Come to me. I'll give you a line.
I actually got to the point where I was getting frustrated with it, because I didn't mind if I was in the director's chair.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Come to me with these issues. Come to me with direction. But they're coming to me and saying, look, the director doesn't know what he's doing. Can you tell us what to do? Can you block this scene for us and stuff? And I'm like, I'm not the director here.
You should have got paid for that. You should be,
I know, right?
Yo, where's my... You know they get paid like 70 quid an hour
Really?
to be a director, yeah. I'm looking into it.
Sounds about right.
It's too much money.
I know, right?
But I understand why certain films go over budget, because directors are like, yeah, let's do another take. If you don't really need to do another take, you want get extra money.
I feel like that's a kind of a double-sided coin, because on the one side of it, if they do get that extra money to fully realize their vision, it can end up becoming a much better film than what it would have been if they'd stuck to their original budget. But then the other side of that coin, you can have films where they've gone way over budget, saying, yeah, it's going to be brilliant, it's going to be great, we're going to be so successful with this film. And then it comes out and everyone's like, what is this?
Well, sometimes it pays off. Like Steven Spielberg was renowned for always being extra long with his filmage. But yeah, the stuff he turned out was always good.
Oh, yeah.
Until he did one floppy film, and everybody hated him for a bit. It's like a war film. They flopped him for a bit.
There's that recent one they did as well, isn't there? Based on one of his books that people didn't like. I think it had Idris Elba in it.
Oh, the Black Tower.
Yeah, it's a Dark Tower or
Dark
something.
Tower.
Yeah.
Did Stephen Spielberg?
Yeah, I
wrote
think
that?
I'm pretty sure he wrote that, and it wasn't really a big success. But
You need to chill out, bro.
But at the same-
you
at
need
the
to calm
same-
down, Steve. Steve, you made your money, Steve. Take a seat.
But at the same
Take
time,
a seat.
you got to think he just also got it re-released as well in a reboot, and that has been mad successful.
Is it as scary as the original? Because I remember the original, and that scared me. That scared me.
I tell you what you need to do. Yeah, you
Hey,
need
George,
to.
you want a balloon? You want a balloon, George? No, I don't want a balloon. Move from me, Grandpa. Move.
The thing is, you need to re-watch the original It.
Oh, no, 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 not watching it again. No.
I've got some bad news for you.
It's what?
The reboot is a lot scarier.
See, is it scary, or is it jump scares?
It's scarier. Just the presence of the clown is just so much
Because
scarier.
the thing is, I'm not scared of clowns. If a clown stepped to me, I'll just punch it straight in the nose. No fear. But the original It was psychological, bro. It was just in my head.
I think-
You want a balloon, George? Come over here, little boy. He just nah, bro. Don't touch me.
Yeah, you're in for some surprises when you watch the new one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's more graphic,
I expected that.
but and it's just so much darker, and it just feels so much more. The clown feels so much more menacing. He really feels like he could get you.
Well, I hope not. We're going to be back after these messages. I have
Anonymous.
in the studio. Back after this.
Consider that life wasted.